From the Woodshed, a casual conversation with Chase Morrill and Ryan Eldridge from Kennebec Cabin Company, the team that inspired the hit show Maine Cabin Masters. From the Woodshed is brought to you by Nelma. See the stamp, trust the quality. By Hero Media Arts, connecting small business with new customers. And by Hammond Lumber, your building project partner. Now, from the Woodshed Studios at KCC headquarters in Manchester, Maine, it's Chase and Ryan.
From the Woodshed, I'm Chase Morrill. With me, as always, Ryan Eldridge and Maggie Morrill.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
We're here to talk about all things Maine, all things cabins, all things Maine cabin related. Our guest today is Jason Kemp, our executive producer from the show Maine Cabin Masters. You can find us at KennebecCabinCompany.com, MaineCabinMasters.com, our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel, and check out our online store, shop.KennebecCabinCompany.com, where we're still having our blowout winter sale. We always want to thank our sponsors, Hammond Lumber Company, the official building material supplier of the Kennebec Cabin Company, Nelma, Northeast Lumber Manufacturing Association, Hero Media Network, and Kennebec Savings Bank. Should be interesting talking with Jason.
Yes, put him on the hot seat.
Put him on the hot seat.
He was in once, right? With maybe did him and
I think
come in a couple
I
seasons
think
ago?
it was him and Lisa.
Him and Lisa, yeah.
Yeah, that was quite a couple of
Long
years
time
ago.
And he's been with us since day one.
He has. So yeah, I'm sure he's got some good stories.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable. It'll be
A
interesting.
long time with us.
Yeah, for sure.
It's exciting. What have you guys been up to?
You know, skiing.
All things skiing.
Pretty
All things
much.
skiing. Kicking butt.
Yeah, sure.
Last week we had live updates during the podcast.
We did.
Oh, of course
Yep.
you did.
Checking your timing.
Yep. But she had her first of her KVACs yesterday.
Yep.
That means like the big
Regional.
event.
Kennebec
regional.
Valley Athletic Conference.
Yeah, and then her states are up in Fort Kent, Presque Isle,
What's the ski hill up there?
We're doing one at
Big Rock,
and
Okay.
then the other one at
Lonesome Pine.
Lonesome Pine, yeah.
So Maggie's ski team is Class B. Is that correct?
I think so. Class B or maybe Class C, but we race at Class B.
So
Okay.
their ski meet is up to Kent's Hill, which is, a good 4 or 5 hour drive from here.
Whoa.
Up to
I'm sorry,
Presque
Presque
Isle,
Isle.
yeah.
Presque Isle.
Kent's Hill is where we practice.
Yeah.
5 hours from
5
Kent's
hours
Hill.
from Kent's
Yeah.
Hill.
In a car, not on a bus.
Class A state meet is at Saddleback. So we were talking with Say Lee yesterday
Yeah.
up to Saddleback, and she's like, "Yeah, we're just going up to Saddleback." It's like, what?
Well,
Yeah, but you guys will make
the
a fun-
thing is, like Fort Kent and Presque Isle, they have to race at ours. They're like Class B, like us, so they have to race. They have to come down where
just
we
for
are,
regular.
so, like, or they don't usually come down, but like for states, they have to come down. So it's like every 4 years. It's
To be fair.
it's their turn to host, so that they don't have to drive all the way down.
Yeah, but at least you get to go up there. You're gonna spend the night. You
yeah.
guys have fun.
We're going up there for like 4 days.
I want to go up and see because they have a world class cross country biathlon course up there.
Right.
And when we were our trip to Europe, we went over when we actually went up to Norway. I remember turning on the TV, and biathlon was on like 4 channels, like curling. Like it's huge over there.
It is.
Like,
It is huge.
And that's one of the stops in the world class tour. I mean, it's
Some of
big
my-
time.
Some of my classmates went up there, did a biathlon thing the other couple weeks ago.
Did they? I'd like to see that facility.
The shooting and skiing.
Wyatt Stevenson.
Very cool.
Like literally, film crews from all over the world come there.
Oh yeah,
Like-
athletes from all over the world.
All over the world. It's more popular than like Portland, Maine.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. What happened to the Green Men?
Okay.
From Umpy.
The Green Man is in storage. I think this is the year we finally have time and space to start putting it back together.
Nice.
So when I went up there, the November before, a little over a year ago, year and a half ago,
Yeah.
Ashley and I, maybe October, and picked them up, and they were in bad shape. And we need space to set them out. It's going to be a big project, and we didn't have that space until now. So I think this summer I'll take part of some area up there and just lay them out and pick. I mean, it's going to be a rebuilding process.
Interesting. Yeah, because being up in that area, I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. No one's got on my case about that. So don't get on it yet. This summer, if you don't see anything by the end of the summer, we'll get on it. But they're tucked in a tarp taco. I moved around 4 times. Finally, I put them somewhere. They're good,
Perfect.
but they are rough.
Eh. It's all
It'll
right.
It'll be fun. We'll get him back.
Cool.
That area is beautiful. Like Ashley and I were up there, like it was October, and it gets so underrated in Maine, and it's got so much history. Like just like the fact that the kids got out of school for 2 or 3 weeks to pick potatoes. It's a whole different world up there.
It is a whole different world up there for sure. Yeah, I haven't been up there I think first was probably Ashland when we went up to 9 Mile.
9 Mile, and they get real winners up there too. I mean, they're always getting so the snowbanks are huge, like snowmobiling. I think Jedi's been up there a bunch snowmobiling, and a lot of the people down here that are in the sled, and they go up there for the weekend.
Yep.
But it's a haul.
Yeah, especially with your entire ski team in one bus. So
you guys gonna go up as a family and hang out?
Yeah, we'll go up. So they're going up for 4 days. The races, I think, are Monday and Tuesday. So we'll go up and spend 1 or 2 nights, watch the races, and
Fun.
head back down.
And you got a race this weekend at Tickham.
yep,
Cool.
last one before states.
We got to go skiing at Black Mountain this past week. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't arrival. I'd never been there. I was very impressed.
Yep. We're working in the Rumford area.
Yeah, seems like a lot of potential. Well, you guys, we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna after this video about the Kennebec Cabin Company blowout sale, which is still going on. We'll be back with our guest, Jason Kemp.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, welcome
Ooh.
to Kennebec Cabin Company.
Thanks. George and I, this is Chase's new dog, George.
Gosh,
I know, he's the
George,
cutest, right?
We're dog friendly
Well,
here.
here you go, George. Go find something you like.
Can
We're
I take
here.
your coat?
Yeah, I'm here to do some winter sale shopping.
Good, enjoy yourself.
Thank you. George, you ready? Come on. Let's grab a bag and go, George. Maybe there's something good for you. I got you something. Don't worry about it. I got you an antler. Here. Hi, Amy. Here, that's
Hi,
for you.
Ashley.
I'm buying George a little antler.
Oh, that's
This is all the stuff that I was able to find. Oh, you know what? It's freezing cold out. I'll be right back. You watch George. Now I'm ready for the cold.
Oh, Ashley is so funny.
I forgot my clothes. I'll be right back.
Jason Kemp. He is the executive producer of Maine Cabin Masters.
Good afternoon.
And where
Feel
are
like
you
I
right
haven't
now,
seen you guys
Star?
in Forever.
Where are you zooming in from?
I'm zooming in from Redondo Beach, California.
Right outside of LA.
Yeah, and so scheduling wise, Jason was just here Monday and Tuesday, so we just missed the podcast, but that's all right.
Well, yeah, we weren't supposed to be filming till April, right?
I know.
What are you drinking over there? We're supposed to ask you water, coffee, or beer. Looks like a water. Dude.
Not quite 1 o'clock, so I'm having coffee in my official
look at
Maine
that.
Cabin Masters mug.
I thought,
This was a gift from you guys, one of the rap years.
oh, nice.
So let's cheers. Oh,
Cheers.
cheers. Oh, nice.
Cheers.
Baxter. Oh, good.
You've been with us since day one.
Day one. In fact, I have some memorabilia. If people were interested to know what kind of gifts the Cabin Masters give to production at the end of each season. So
How many
if
gifts do
we
you
can
have?
Eventually get to that, but this proves my day one. Legacy.
Oh, that was a good one.
The first thing, the hammer,
The engraved hammer.
Season 1.
season 1 hammer. Yeah, I started as in post as the writer for On the Rocks. That was my first episode writing on the show, and then right after that, I went out into the field because once I saw Maine, I begged to get out there, and here we are, almost a decade later.
So explain post to the people that don't know what the heck you're talking about. Pre and post
So
and during.
TV show happens in like 3 parts basically. You have the scouting of the project, and then we have the filming of the project, and then post is where we take all that footage, edit it together, send it to the network, get their notes, and change what they'd like to have changed, and send it back to them and put it on TV. So that you always hear saying you can fix it in post. What that means is you learn creative ways to get around problems that maybe the field created.
The field. I got a million questions, don't you? It's like now's our time to ask them.
Yeah, he's in the hot seat.
In the hot seat.
So, how does a writer? Because everybody always asks, is it scripted? Is it scripted? It's not scripted. But there are writers.
Writing in. I like to say, people ask me what type of shows. I don't think we're a reality show. We're more of a docu-series where we document. I tell you guys all the time, we're here to document your journey. And that's really what we do. So writing means we're just taking all of that footage, that 120 hours we shoot for a 40-minute episode. And what the writer does is the writer takes that 120 hours that we shoot and condenses it into 40 or so minutes. And then they'll work with the editor and the writer will work together to make it an episode. Another name for writers, story producer, or even just a producer. Oh. But writer is the more elegant term for the job. But no, we're not scripting anything.
Got it. Who's the writer on the show?
Well, that's the thing is, originally there were 3 of us. And right now we have Josiah is one of our writers.
Yeah.
And Heather's one of our writers. And then we're doing repacks right now. So we have a couple additional writers, Carl and Danny as well. And what they're doing is, basically finishing up the Cleary episode and starting on the new ones that we just began. We try to stay current with you guys. It helps us a lot to be, so when I go out for the next field shoot, we're already writing pretty much up to the last shoot.
That always amazed me though, because we don't know what path we're going to take with these builds. It's not like we have a set of plans. And you guys don't know how the episode's going to come out, but yet you produce the episode up to that time almost. I also had a theory, like, could you go back and almost make another episode and follow a totally different storyline on these camps? Because there's so much stuff that doesn't get seen. I'm like, oh, like you could almost have so much footage and do a whole different episode in a sense.
You could. In some, I'll give you some examples, like the Rooney camp. We certainly could have had the second hour, because that was a 9-month build, and we had so much that went through the winter, and those are really hard in post to tell a full and cohesive story when you have 55 shoot days like we had for the Rooney episode. But there's definitely what we do our best to try to make it a nice blend between the work you guys are doing and the personalities you have. And our ultimate goal is authenticity, to make the viewer know what it feels like to be on set at a build site with you guys. That's our goal in this show. Is my mom tells me all the time, she's a big fan of the show. She's like, I feel like I'm right there with them.
Yeah, I was going to say,
when are you going to bring Mom out?
Yeah, job well done.
You got to bring Mom out.
Wants to come out.
She should. You're holding out. That's not fair. That's one of the.
You might meet Mom this summer.
We should.
Nice.
Mom, if you're watching, make him bring you. It always amazes me, like, because we don't know the episode before we see it. Everyone's like, oh, you guys know what the episode looks like. We very rarely, maybe once or twice out of the 100 and something, have we seen the episode before it aired on TV when you guys were in town. And it's almost like Christmas to us. Like the storyline you guys pick and the way it comes out, like it's amazing. How often do you guys start writing and then something doesn't happen? You must kind of, you write several scripts because you think we're going to go one way and it doesn't happen, or you think something else is going to happen and it doesn't?
Well, yeah, that's why I think in the beginning why I annoy you guys and say, or even with the homeowners, we get a whole wish list from them because some things are feasible, some things we're able to execute, and some things we just can't. And I would say it's easier for us to write it, put it together, and go back and change it than it is for us to wait until you're done. And because then, we're kind of going out there blind in the field. And so many times we've sent you guys, hey, we need to kind of change this interview because for whatever reason, the windows were late or, a variety of different, obstacles that you guys face every day out there in the field. So yes, to answer your first question, we certainly could follow other storylines, and there are certain places that get longer episodes than our viewers in the United States, and so there are certain
Do you know,
countries
Maggie?
in this world
What?
What
that actually get that.
what nation gets longer, or what area in the world gets longer episodes?
Oh, I have heard this actually.
Yes.
They get 48-minute episodes as opposed to the 41-minute episodes.
Dude, they
we
get
here.
every 7 episodes. It's a new free episode. It's awesome.
I don't. England, Australia.
Oh, nice.
Oh, she's good.
Is it
She's
one
good.
of those or?
I
Australia.
can only confirm Australia.
Okay, that was just a guess.
So when you edit an episode, when you first put it all together, how long typically is it?
Okay, so we have 4 stages of the episode. We have the internal rough cut, the rough cut,
Yeah.
the fine cut, the lock cut. The internal rough cut is just in the
Sounds like
production
chewing
company.
type.
It goes to
Chewing
me.
tobacco.
So originally we like to keep it about 45 minutes, and then we whittle it down to about 43 minutes, then 42 minutes, then 40 minutes. So there's about 20 minutes of commercials in a typical
That's crazy.
US show. Yeah. It varies though. Sometimes it's 18 minutes, sometimes it's 20 minutes.
So typically you're around 45 minutes?
We start at 45.
Yeah.
If we had our druthers, I would love every episode to be like 52 minutes.
Sure, of course.
Because then we
of
could
course.
really kind of get in and tell longer stories. And I think it might be going to that eventually, but TV commercials still pay the bills.
Right.
So in order for the writers to not feel so constrained, we also like to send the network a little bit more. So we know it's going to end around the 40-minute mark. So we like to send the network a little bit more in the beginning, on the rough cut, so they get a chance to kind of see a little bit more of the process.
Gotcha.
And then we work together at that point to say, okay, we would love to show this, but we just don't have the time. And then that becomes a deleted scene. We are very diligent about anything good that does not make an episode will definitely become a deleted scene.
Yeah.
And will almost always make its way into one of our repack episodes. That's kind of the goal of those episodes, as well as for the viewers to get additional content that we couldn't put in the original cut.
Nothing goes to waste.
We are a very efficient show. Like, you guys are very efficient builders. We try to be a very efficient show. Nothing goes to waste on this show.
Now, do you ever get notes from the network where you have to cut out an entire storyline?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not to make you mad, but that bird you made for the McQuaid camp, all that time you made making that pelican, never made that episode.
Did I even film that?
Well, that's why it didn't make the episode.
I'd say that's kind of, yeah.
You brought the bird at the reveal with no process showing the viewers how you actually made this really great. And for the keen observer watching that episode, there are still a couple shots where you can see the pelican up on the beam near the staircase.
Yeah.
But in the original cut, she loved birds, and we tried to do what we can with birds.
Yeah.
And in the original cut we sent to the network, you just showed up, which you really did, how it really happened. You showed up on reveal day saying, I made this bird. And I was like, oh man, what are we going to do about it?
Prove it. Where's the film footage?
I think I told you guys I
But
went
yeah.
out. I told you guys I went out and bought it.
It was a great bird.
What year did we go out to the studio? Was it year 2 or 3? I don't remember where it was, but I remember walking in there, and the first thing I heard was my voice. And then we walk into this room, and it's all dark, and there's TVs and all this technology everywhere. And I just thought, these poor people have to listen to us over and over. Like, how many times do you guys watch a scene or the episode?
Oh man, when you're writing, a lot, especially the first act, I would say. The hardest part of writing the show is I would say the first 8 minutes. I always say getting you guys into the cabin is the hardest part of writing the show, because we do so much when we shoot the arrivals. We have drones and GoPros and all these different shots, and we try to make it as beautiful as we can. And it's so important to set up the episode properly to make sure that people get an idea of who these homeowners are, what their build needs are, and making sure that each one of you get an opportunity to take a look at the cabin. So sometimes you'll watch that that first act 40 times.
Oh my
By the time you're
Lord.
done, yeah, and by the time you're done with notes, probably upwards of 50 times.
Holy
And
smokes. That's
because
too much.
the entire time you're writing the episode, you're rewatching it. You're always snipping it down a little bit. You're always altering things. So a lot. And I'll tell you, the song that the kids sang at what was that camp where the kids did the song for you,
Herzig.
Yeah,
Herzig. I drove my wife nuts because I
it was
wrote
pretty
that
catchy.
episode. I probably sang that song for about 4 months until she just threatened to move me out
Hey,
of the
cabin
house.
masters, our cabin's a disaster.
And then this year at the Secord camp, the Fireflies song, I love that so much. When I was working on that episode, I just played his song that you guys came up
Yeah.
on the canoe and kayaks. I mean, I put it as my ringtone on my phone. My
Oh,
wife was a little bit more lenient with that one.
That
than
was
the
a really
first one.
powerful arrival.
It really was coming in
Yeah.
off the water like that, and the beauty of that camp
all
just
of it.
came out.
All of it.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a hard time, like, separate? You're watching us all the time. You're interacting with us. Do you ever find yourself like, how do I put this?
Over us.
Well, we know that, but like, not looking at us as humans. Like,
This is a funny question.
you know what I mean? Like, it'd be one of those things, like, you just see us all the time, and you're producing, trying to make things happen. Do you ever catch yourself being like, oh, I want them, trying to force us, kind of that separation between the real us and the TV us? Like, I feel like
I don't think
that would
there's a
be
big
really
difference.
hard.
I think because you guys, I've worked with, a lot of different types of TV talent.
Yeah.
And I would say because you guys are human beings and you're in this to do your thing and to build cabins. And so to me, there's not really big separation because I think the people that I work with in the field are the same people that I see on the footage.
Yeah.
And so, and you guys, I think at this point too, we're all very honest with each other.
Yeah.
And we've had our highs and we've had our lows. And I think what we've learned through these, 9, 10, 11, who knows, 12 seasons we're in right now, that, there's going to be another cabin. There's going to be another build. Like most of our problems that we've had have, in retrospect, they all seem small because we just keep the trains moving. And so I think I know now I have a different relationship with all 5 of you that I know to be true. Like we just all communicate differently.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it easy for me is because we all have different relationships with each other.
Gotcha. Good answer.
Like my relationship with Jedi is far different than my relationship with 2 of you. It's a lot of late nights and casino trips and stuff like that. So very different.
That's a
I've only
good.
been to
That's a
casino
good
with you
thing.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
And
I
that's
do-
what makes it work.
I do have dreams about playing craps, though.
You do?
Yes. Got to get back to Vegas.
What are some of the other
You sure
projects
do.
how'd you get to this point in your career? What else?
I'll tell you, I started as a TV commercial producer, and I was doing Dannon commercials. And we did a couple Super Bowl commercials, and then my wife and I got pregnant with our daughter, and I needed a little bit more consistent work than you get from TV commercials. And I knew some people that worked at 3 Ball, which was a production company in Redondo Beach, and they helped me transition into TV. And, I've worked on weight loss shows, pet shows, home building shows, like drug enforcement shows. And the one thing I really enjoy is traveling. And when I was a young kid growing up in Southern California, I found Maine very fascinating because it was the farthest away from my 3 sisters that I could get. in
But just doing the
United
opposite.
States.
Yeah.
Right. And so I always dreamed, I was like, I'm going to move. I told my mom as a kid, I'm going to move to Maine and get away from all of you girls. And
Lo and behold.
honestly, the opportunity came up to work on a show in Maine.
Some things are meant to be.
Yeah. And it's great. And your state, I love your state. Like, I'm born and raised in Southern California, and I feel like I live in paradise, but I'm always really happy to go back to Maine. Maybe not bug season. But every other season, I'm always really happy to go back.
You dislike bug season more than you dislike January. Is that a correct statement?
Oh, 100%. I'll take that negative 41 wind chill we had the other day over bug season any day of the week.
Do we have any photos of Jason during bug season that we can post?
Oh, we should try to find some.
Oh,
Because man,
let's
oh
get a hold of
man.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Can we go back to Super Bowl commercial for a minute? I'm fascinated by that. How much time, when do you start doing a Super Bowl commercial? Month, 2 months ahead, 4 months ahead?
Get about 3 weeks of pre-production. So we worked with John Stamos on those Dan and Oikos commercials. So their team takes care of a lot of that stuff. You just basically need to have the location where you're filming and all of the crew and all of the props dialed in. The hardest part, I think, of those types of jobs is getting the props right, because the company doesn't send you the props. So like because production companies make the content.
Mm-hmm.
The sponsors, the advertisers, the networks pay for the production companies to make the content. So you'd be 3 weeks out and you'd have to get an exact replica of like a Dannon yogurt cup and their lid. And, it's all of those little details that make it hard. And then usually TV commercial shoots are one day, one really long.
We've actually been there
day.
once.
Yeah, you guys, I'm sure that was a long day for you.
It
too.
was a whole
It's
different
just-
world.
It was. It
Whole
really
different
was.
world.
Yeah.
You take a TV commercial budget and you push it into 3 weeks and most of it into one day. Whereas our job is to stretch out a budget so we can survive an entire year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like everything is catered so you, the talent, and the crew don't leave that little box room. All the food you need's there, all the drink, all the hair, all
gotcha.
the water, because they don't want anybody being distracted and leaving that little TV box.
Interesting. So what would you say is the hardest cabin you have worked on? Everybody always asks us, what's your favorite episode? I'll ask you that next. But what's the hardest and what makes a cabin hardest for the production side of things?
How we're allowed to be real, right? The number one thing that makes it difficult for production is bathroom situations at a lot of our cabins. Because sometimes we'll show up and there won't even be, there'll just be the woods. And we have a lot of people on our show that come from a lot of different types of places. And so until things get moving along on the build, the other one for us is when we have, like, I loved the Bates cabin of Fort, the A-frame on Moosehead Lake. But that's really hard because if you guys remember, we had to move our gear. We had to park our car a mile and a half away, and we had to move all of our camera gear along those train tracks as you guys, were walking down it. Or, occasionally we had. So I think the hardest one for us to work on was probably Bates. The A-frame on Moosehead, just because how difficult it was.
That's one of
for
my
us to get
favorites,
our
though.
gear there. Yeah, but it is also one of my favorites because of that, and I just thought it was a great. I think the other struggle for production too is limited food resources for because we also we provide lunch for the whole cast and crew.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that everybody everybody works really hard making the show, and I think that's what makes it so rewarding. But we also want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to get a lunch that they'll want to sit down and eat and have a little bit of variety. It seems small potatoes, but in the production world, it's all about just kind of keeping everybody in the right headset frame.
Yeah.
We've heard stories about like food trucks on set and trailers and air conditioned places to get away.
Again, we are stretching that budget to go.
I know. Like I said, we did that commercial one day and we were like, bring us back to our little show.
All right.
It was over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's good. So typically on our shoots, on the big full crew shoot days, 8 production team members? Is that right?
Yeah, 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
8 to 10.
And then some days it's just the 3 of us.
Yep.
Some days it's just the 5 of us. And some days, like the last couple of days, we bring everybody, all hands on deck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But we've all gotten a lot
And
more
to
efficient.
To answer your other question, my favorite episode probably is my favorite episode to watch is the Chris camp where we put Ryan on the horseback and Now that's because that camp has a special place in my heart because my family and I actually stayed there. It was my daughter's first time fishing, and so the family allowed us to stay there for a week after. My favorite episode we did, I think, was Bunganut Creek. I just think from
Bunganut's a
where we
classic.
started in that
It is.
one, iced up. And Steve threw a heck of a party for production afterwards. So production still talks about a couple of the parties the homeowners have
Well, I was thinking
thrown for us.
I mean, that Chris party was pretty epic.
Well, remember the
lobster bake?
the lobsters took twice long. Everyone was hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Chris party gets a lot of discussion still.
Yeah.
And yes, I also almost blew off my ear with a firecracker at that party. So some good, some bad.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, we have a few fan questions for you from Maggie as well. Well, the questions aren't from Maggie, but
I wouldn't consider myself a fan. But
Oh, burn!
I read that. Okay. Jason, are you ready?
I'm ready, Maggie.
Okay. Oh wait.
You missed the nice house by a week.
Stop. Wait, which one was I gonna? Okay. This one is from Susan Busier.
Hi, Susan.
Did you ever think the show would become such a big hit?
Good question.
That's a great question. Let me tell you some stories that we said.
that is a good question.
No, because I would have bought a cabin in season 1 on the lake before these guys made Maine the destination location that it is now. And I wish I had bought a cabin in season 1. We also would have bought an RV in season 1 for production. I mean, we knew in the middle of season 1 that you guys were special. Let me put it that way. And I think we told you even early on, like, the rule of TV is like 5 years and you get known, 10 years and you get famous, right? If you're on for 15 years, you're legendary, right? And I think we kept saying to you guys too, it's like, if you guys can get 5 years, you'll be a hit. And you made it 5 years. And then now you're approaching 10 years. And I don't know, doing TV commercials, getting, recognized at all the sporting events. You're pretty close. I would say you're definitely getting close to almost famous.
Definitely
go.
close to almost famous.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Definitely close to almost famous.
Yeah.
So, Maggie, I would say to answer that question, we hoped and prayed and knew that there was something really good here, and we just try to keep our head down and keep building cabins and making TV shows.
Okay. Next question is from @JoeMoto626. What is the most difficult situation you've had to handle while producing the show?
Aside from Lance's wedding, because Lance's wedding was probably one of the most difficult. Well, we had emus on the loose after that too.
Yeah.
I'd say number one, chasing emus through the forest of Lance's property was probably the most difficult situation. That I can't even think of a close second. That was one of the harder things I've ever had to do, was try to chase down a full-grown emu.
Yeah, that is.
We got him, though.
That's the top of the list for sure. And what
Yeah.
people, I mean, so you have, the whole production team has an earpiece in. You're all communicating over walkie-talkies, but you're also listening. We're all mic'd up. Sound guys listening to us. You have everybody coming at you from all directions, all pretty much the entire time. Like,
Yeah.
just being able to manage all that is pretty. It's very impressive because, holy smokes.
That is, you bring up a good point. That's probably one of the harder parts of the job, is that I have 10 of my team members in my left ear, and I have 5 to 7 cast members in my right ear. And then I'm also, you also got to look at what's going on, because, there's a variety of things that happen in the real world that, we don't want to film on TV. If guys are standing around drinking cups of coffee behind the scenes, we want to make sure our cameras are facing the work site. So I mean, that's probably one of the more difficult things, just managing all the voices that are, constantly going.
Yeah.
But we do a good job. Like, we do a good job of, we have set rules on our walkie of when and what to communicate, especially when we're filming a scene. And then our audio guys are so good that they do a good job of turning down the people who aren't in the scene and then, isolating the people who are in the scene. So it just really kind of helps me focus on what's going on.
Huh. Interesting. Are there I mean, I'm sure there are, but like across the board when you're in that line of work, like, there's a set of rules, but does each production team like develop their own set of rules, working rules, not necessarily rules, but just, I don't know.
Yeah, there's the larger the show, the more it changes. There's industry standards. When you get onto big shows, like certain departments will have their own channels on walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
And then, information is disseminated to one person. That one person would pop over to the other production channel or to lighting or hair and makeup or food, craft, all those PAs.
Yeah.
We've got such a tight knit group now, and it's pretty much, been the same core of people that we have a little bit, looser sense on the walkie-talkie, a little more fun. Because, if we're not having fun,
Right.
it's just
Yeah,
work.
exactly.
Long day.
But do you
Yeah,
get people,
so-
do you get like, I mean, there haven't been that many occasions, but people coming in who have, I don't know, habits from doing a larger production show that, this is how it's done, that type of stuff.
Yeah, what do you tell colleagues that are coming in about our show that's different? You must give them a rundown. Like, what do you say?
Yeah.
The bathroom's
Yeah,
bathroom situation's gonna suck, and the
Bring your own
lunch.
toilet paper.
Bring your own lunch.
Yeah, so the original crew, we came from larger shows, which you kind of come ingrained with that more rigid, rule oriented. These are what you can say, can't say, what you can do, can't do over walkie. And then but then you get out there in the elements and people just have something funny to say. They need to say it. But when scenes are being shot, no, we are really good. It's really just when scenes are being shot, it's really about calling out camera moves. It's like, hey, Trevor, grab a 2-shot. Hey, let's open up to get a wide. Let's get the drone ready. Like when we're actually filming, we're all really professional on walkie. And the only time you would pop in would be if an emergency's happening or,
Gotcha.
if we have like a hard timeout. And then, yeah, when people come from other shows, there's certain like a little bit of terminology, but usually they always acquiesce to whatever, you listen for 10, 15 minutes, you get kind of an idea of the rhythm and the cadence of that show.
Yeah, because I mean, like for us, we have carpenters come in working with us, and we're not a typical carpentry crew,
Right.
and it's some people it's hard for them to adjust, and others it's not. So I imagine it's got to be the same way. That some people couldn't click well, others don't, but it's just interesting to think about it on that side of things as well.
Well, I know, like a lot of times we've in the past, like first season, like one through 4, people get frustrated. And we'd have to be like, you guys are doing a job too,
Yes,
you
yes,
cross and pass
yes.
a little bit, and like, but we've all had to stop, and we had to tell other people, like, guys, they're doing a job too. Or I had to tell myself,
We still have to tell
Yeah.
Rodney that.
yeah, they have a job to do too, so we're all in this together.
Yeah.
On different sides of the camera.
Exactly. And for us, like I said, usually for people coming to the show for the first time, that's why we try to hire Mainers as much as we can, or people at least from New England as much as we can too. And if not, then we want to make sure people have had experience on outdoor shows and build shows, because the difference between working in a studio show or a stage show and working in an outdoor element show is night and day. So I think that's the hardest transition for some people, especially if they're coming from LA, is we are outside for 10 to 12 hours a day filming, regardless. The only thing we don't film in is lightning. You guys know that. It's like we'll film through rain, wind, snow, all that. So that's the biggest.
That lightning prayer doesn't work.
Yeah. Lightning and metal cameras just don't really work together.
And you guys have a strict set of rules for union and just in that business, whereas it's a 12-hour day, and you guys start long before some of our carpenters get there. You got to get your gear together, and then you have a certain time. You got to take lunch, and then you have to also, if we get done at 3, say we have a great day and wrap up, you guys still go out and get B-roll until a certain time, and then you also got to clean all your gear. I mean, it's 12-hour days every day for you guys.
Oh, at least. We learned in season 1, we need to be ready when you guys show up, because you shouldn't have to slow down for
Maybe
us.
not season 1.
maybe season 3 we talked about it in season 1, and then by season 3 or so we started but yeah,
been a
we're
goal.
usually up 90 minutes to 2 hours before your call time, and then when you guys go, we got another 2 hours after you guys wrap to, sometimes if you go all the way to the end though, then we just go and we put gear away. But if we have any time left over, we go out and we film Maine, as much as we can.
Yeah. Cool. When are you back?
March 1st through March 10th. We are gonna do repacks. Get excited for repacks, and we are going to do the hopefully the construction days of the 2 camps we're working on.
Yeah, no, we're going strong, and knock on wood, weather's cooperating. So, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, you, Jason.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's a lot of fun. I just want to let everybody know this was the gift they gave us this last year.
Oh, that's cool.
Maine Cabin Masters season 9. This one was a pain in the butt to get onto the airplane.
Wait till we give you the nail gun.
Right.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Maggie. Have a great day,
Thank
guys.
you.
Hey, everybody, stick around. We're all going to go on a fun little adventure.
Oh, Steve had the sheetrock guy. All right, he does good.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Hey guys, take care of you, Doug.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Oh, look at this.
Right.
All right. I heard about, actually, the lettuce wraps the other day said they were great.
Go, Maggie.
Ashley's favorite.
It's like, no.
Look at those nachos.
Look at those tacos.
Oh, look at the tacos. I heard the tacos were good. Who's going first? I'm not too shy for tacos.
Taco it is.
I've always watched the girls on Maine Life being like, they got it made. 'Cause every Sunday morning, they're eating food. Maggie, we'll do the 1 bite challenge.
I don't eat meat, but
You guys want it? Never worked.
Help yourself. Oh, yeah. Gotta eat something.
Yeah, so I heard about Ashley told me about the lettuce wraps, huh? Are those vegan for you? Or meat?
Meat free.
There's kimchi, fresh vegetables,
Roasted peppers.
and then it's 3 types of tacos. Which one do you got?
I got a beef taco.
I think I got whole pork. Let me try that again. And these are the wings we've been talking about, right? You were wondering. Mm-hmm. They're baked, not fried. Right? I'm going in. I don't know about being filmed when you're eating. It's kind of weird.
It's hard
Let's do the beard.
It's hard. I know.
Do any TV food hosts have beards? What do you think about?
It's hard to talk and eat.
May I have a napkin, please? That is a good wing. And it's healthy. Kinda. Maggie's rolling her eyes. We got a new type of oven, right? Convection oven, and we're gonna open up the possibilities. Yeah, so this is the new menu. Come down and try it out. One thing we're doing on the weekends, or I think, and most of the time, is sled to the shed. We have the local snowmobile club, the Manchester Ridge Riders, a groom on the trail right up to the back door. Come in and you can get a bucket of domestics, 5 for $20, and then pretty much get one for free. And yeah, look out too, because on social media, I think Jedi's and I are going to do a ride coming up. You know, follow those signs, they all lead to the Woodshed. You can get here from anywhere in central Maine. And then, what else?
I don't own a sled, but I may be here waiting.
There you go. And we also have daily specials every day too, which has been going really well. Get on our social media, Woodshed Facebook, Instagram pages, whatnot. You can find the daily specials.
All right, and we had to tear ourselves away from the Woodshed and the food. It was delicious, but we have a podcast to finish up. So
I'm impressed with the new menu. I didn't know all that stuff was on there.
yeah, it's great. You know, nice place to get away in the winter.
How to go back to work after eating that much food, though? Hopefully these questions are easy.
Yeah,
all right. Are you ready?
we are.
This is from Kate Journey. Why do you use pine boards instead of plywood when roofing?
Many reasons.
Most of all,
Maine is the pine tree state.
eastern white pine.
Eastern white pines everywhere.
It's in abundance.
It's what a lot of the camps were originally built with, and yeah, it's durable
It's inexpensive.
and it looks good when you put it on the ceiling.
Right. Because a lot of times what our roof sheathing is what you see for finished underneath.
Yes.
When we do like framage finished camp
Yep.
or cabin.
Yep. And a lot of times too, we're working on old cabins where layout isn't perfect, and where 4x8 sheets of plywood, you have to be
Right on.
right on with your layout, your alignment. There's a lot more forgiveness when using pine.
And, 1 or 2 guys, it's a lot easier working with too.
That's true
You
too.
wouldn't think about it, but it really is. I think we did the math, right? A 1x12x16 is the same as a sheet of plywood.
Yeah, same, right? 32 square feet.
Yeah.
One person handing up a 16-foot board, is definitely easier.
But most importantly, we buy it direct from the manufacturer, direct from the people that mill it, and we buy it in abundance, and we get a great price on it.
Yep.
And it smells so good.
Smells so good.
And
Use it for
and
everything.
It makes man glitter. I just dream about it at night.
Of course you do. Okay. You ready for the next one?
We are.
This one is from Janet Adams. Do you travel from home to the job site each day, or do you stay in motels nearby or in a motorhome?
This would have been a good question for Jason, too,
Right.
for the production side of things. So typically we try and work within a 2-hour radius, and, most of us, drive home each night. In the summertime, we'll stay, we'll go a little bit further, get places for people to stay up there. But, we all appreciate,
Yeah, when the show was young, we went away for two rounds.
Yeah.
In the summer, we were almost gone for 4 months. I mean, like season 2 and 3, like we were gone the whole time.
Yeah.
And then season 4, we were, and then it's a lot on everyone. After a while, we're gonna get burned out.
It is. And, it's summertime. We all appreciate, the good weather, going out swimming. Days are longer, so we can actually still do stuff. So production, they'll typically show up, stay in hotels. And, in the summertime, I mean, it can be a 2 to 3 week stretch while the film crew's here.
Right.
And, they're away from their families. They're staying in hotels. Sometimes if we're a little further away, they'll get, cabins or places like that. But, it's they do a lot to make the show what it is.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've had some fun times, like down in Bar Harbor. They rented us VRBO houses for a while.
Yep.
But again, that's some of the costs you don't see the way the production helps with that, because
Absolutely.
asking a homeowner to pay that, it would cost so much money. That's
Right.
those costs people ask, like, how do you guys make it happen and stuff like that.
And we're going to areas we normally wouldn't go to. So, it works out for everybody. And how Jason said, we've got to know the film crew so well. They bring their families out for weeks, and get to experience the whole Maine summer, staying on a lakefront cottage, something like that. So it's
Yeah,
fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
But now we can't lie. We preferred, like the last 2 years when the state was shut down and we got to still work. It was nice being home. We got to enjoy summer more than we had, and I think we learned we would miss it. We sacrificed a lot in the first 4 or 5 seasons to make it happen.
Yep.
So, and that's, as we get older, it's important because our time is dwindling. We've hit
Oh my
midpoint.
god. Oh my god.
We have hit
You need to-
midpoint.
You need to stop.
You know?
You need to stop.
You think I'm gonna live to 96? I hope
Here
so.
comes the crisis.
Oh my god.
Oh, is that what I've been taking? Is that what I'm going through lately?
Probably.
All right. So we are on to trivia.
Yes.
So Fletcher hopefully left. So we didn't have an answer to your trivia question.
But I do have the answer.
I don't even remember that question. Fletcher asked us.
Well,
We thought.
we thought
Fletcher
it was
doesn't
easy.
know anything, so what's hard for him? What's
Easy
easy?
now.
What's
He
hard
knew
for
a
him?
lot. I mean, we had to help pronounce a few words, but he was good.
I think he did great.
He did.
Okay. Well, my last week question was 3 Native American tribes were involved in Maine's
yeah.
famous Native American claims case that was settled in 1980. The Penobscots, the Passamaquoddies are the best known of these tribes. What is the third tribe?
Was Wabanaki the name for all of them?
I think yes. That's the name for all of them.
Oh, there's a little tribe on the coast.
It was a Maliseet, right?
correct.
Nice. Good job, Chase.
Yeah.
Making us look good. I appreciate it.
They are
Making us look
located in southern Aroostook County.
Well, that's not the coast, Ryan.
Yeah.
Coastal Aroostook
I
County.
didn't know that.
In
Interesting.
the Holton area.
Holton area.
Maybe you
okay.
guys should do a report on it when you guys go up for the ski race, and you can get back to us.
Unfortunately, I feel as though I have other priorities.
All right. So what was Fletcher's
That
question?
is your job to remember, as I was
Let me see those.
present.
All right. So if you knew if
one
you're the first person to get the correct answer to us at podcast@mainecabinmasters.com, you might just get a good prize. All right, Fletcher's.
Mine's an easy one this week, too.
Great. Uh-oh.
What treaty? Oh, there's so much good ones on here. Why didn't you? Okay, this is what Fletcher picked. Ready? What treaty ended the Aroostook War? Okay, these are the 4 questions he went through to get to that. First one: what started in Frank Green's hay building in Bangor on Sunday, April 30th, 1911?
The Great Bangor Fire.
I was gonna say a fire. What are you gonna say?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay, well, next. Where are former governors Dingley, Garstadone, Bryan, and Longley from?
Portland.
I was going to say Portland. What Democratic presidential candidate received the most votes in Maine's caucus in 1984?
Muskie.
Walter Mondale. On what holiday did the fire of 1866 destroy Portland?
Oh, I don't know.
4th of July, Mike.
That's a good guess.
Right? All right, let's go over.
Oh,
The
God.
well, do you have an answer for Fletcher's? Because I have no idea. Again, what treaty ended the Aroostook
I
War?
should know this. Oh,
You're probably studying this
I-
at school.
I feel like I just learned this.
You better hope
If
your
you gave
grandmother
me,
Peggy's
like,
not looking.
If you gave me like a couple minutes, I probably could come up with it.
All right, let's go with the other question. So
But I don't know. I
No,
don't know.
what's the answer to Fletcher's?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I'll.
the Webster-Ashburton Treaty.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard that.
You have not.
have to. I just learned
All
about
right,
this.
answers the other ones. What started in the hay building was a fire, the big fire. They're all from Lewiston.
Lewiston.
Gary Hart, remember him?
Gary Hart.
Really, 1984, the most votes. And 4th of July. See, it's luck.
I believe the Aroostook War was not actually a war, even.
Right.
See, I do. I have.
All right.
this.
All right. All right.
And now we have a new question. Oh, I definitely gave the information about the answer earlier. Too early. I forgot we have another question coming.
Okay. Okay, are you ready? This is an easy one for you. What was the first college founded in Maine?
Ooh, that is a good one.
And I would hope you knew the answer.
I do.
Okay, good.
I hope I do.
Yeah.
It could be a trick question. There's not enough for it to be a trick question.
Yeah. I don't know. But if you know the answer, like Ryan said, podcast@mainecabinmasters.com. And don't forget to send us your project pointer questions. If you have a project about your home renovation project, send us an email with your name, description of the project, your phone number, and photos or videos, and we will try to answer as best we can. And yeah, keep those questions coming.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you to the Woodshed for supplying all that delicious food to us. Thank you to our sponsors, Hammond Lumber Company, Nelma, Hero Media Network, and Kennebec Savings Bank. And from the Woodshed, we'll be talking to you.
From the Woodshed has been brought to you by Nelma. See the stamp? Trust the quality. Hammond Lumber, your building project partner. Kennebec Savings Bank, helping our local community save, thrive, and grow for over 150 years. And Hero Media Network, connecting small business with new customers. From the Woodshed is a production of Kennebec Cabin Company. See you next time.